Well, Joe, good to see you again. This is Joe Burks of Vigilant. And Joe, we're talking about ECCN. What is it? I can't wait to hear.
Well, everybody calls it ECCN because it's harder to say export control classification number. Okay, and so a lot of people go, okay, well, what does that tell me? It doesn't tell me anything. With classification, when you have a screw, if it's a metal screw, it's all going to be under one classification. It's under 7318. It makes no difference how it's used. It's still that same HTS classification. Well, when it gets into ECCN, they want to know what that design was. What was it designed for? Because no problem importing and exporting a standard screw. But if you get a screw that was designed for the F-22 Raptor per se, then that has a specific set of designs around it, and the government wants to control it. They don't want everybody to get a hold of it. Same thing when you get into silicon-controlled rectifiers are another good example. I had somebody come to me and say, hey, I've got a 2,000 amp SCR. I think it's controlled. And I go, no, it's 2,000 amps per microsecond current rise in order for it to be controlled. He goes, no, I talked to an engineer and we're there. I go, no, because it's that current rise. And he goes, what's the difference? I go, well, if it handles 2,000 amps per microsecond current rise, it's a nuclear trigger. So, Randy, you want to make sure those goods are being controlled. You don't want people to get a hold of nuclear triggers. You get a 2,000 amp rectifier and import it and export it, as long as it's not to one of what they call the T5 countries. For the most part, you can ship it anywhere. But if it meets that other criteria, then it's going to be controlled. So the ECCN controls how it's used or what it's used for, not so much what it specifically is.
Well, that's pretty interesting, Joe. And boy, you're mentioning some stuff about nuclear triggers and such, and you got to know this stuff. And obviously, if you're an importer and you're sending A to B, you need somebody who knows this stuff. And Vigilant GTS can really help you. If you're not on their website, check it out, vigilantgts.com, and just see what they do. We do a whole bunch of videos like this, and you'll learn a lot. And Joe, thank you so much for sharing with us.
My pleasure, Randy.